Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is the FSU Weather Show, and I'm student meteorologist Jason Ducker.
And I'm student meteorologist Jack Holland.
Today is November 18, 2013, and this past weekend we had some nice, more seasonal fall-like weather, some cool temperatures at times. Yesterday, though, a rare severe weather outbreak in the nation.
Yes, Jason, we move our headline story into the Great Lakes region, where a huge tornado outbreak began yesterday and continued throughout the night.
Yes, so the tornado outbreak began right around afternoon time and extended into the evening hours. Some of the worst areas that saw the most tornadoes, we would say, would be in the eastern Illinois areas.
Yes, one confirmed tornado was an EF4 tornado on the Hans-Fujita scale, which is a very deadly storm, and so far there has been 8 confirmed fatalities with hundreds of injuries.
There's a lot of destruction going on over there. There's a lot of cleanup to do, of course. There's currently Red Cross is helping to look out for survivors and all the rubble and in many areas. Into Washington, Illinois specifically got one of the worst damages.
Yes, it did. EF4 tornado was the first time we've ever seen one in Illinois in the month of November, so some dangerous conditions there. And as we take a look into Morganfield, Kentucky, we saw some deadly tornadoes going through there as well. So it was a huge tornado outbreak and very sad conditions for the Midwest.
We'll get more into that in the next story. We're going to go ahead and take our overview, though, with Jay. Jay, how are things looking out there?
Thanks, guys. We're going to take a look at the overview right now as we flip up to our 4 panel. Things are looking pretty wet for our part of the area, but for national right now, you see some winter storms coming in over the west coast, so they're bringing a lot of snow for the west coast. But over in our area, you're seeing a lot more thunderstorms. As we saw today, it was a very wet one over in Tallahassee area, and that will start making its way over to South Florida as well, so they'll be having some very wet weather as well. When we take a look at the tonight's forecast, you see 50 degrees, muggy and cold. There's going to be a couple showers out there, so make sure you have the umbrellas and raincoats handy just in case. But that will start making its way out, and we'll have some very nice weather later on in the week. When we take a look at the weather headlines for today, we're going to see rain lingers in the evening, clearing tomorrow, and isolated thunderstorms will be later on this week. But for more on that, let's take it back to the desk.
Yeah, thanks, Jay. Now, continuing to talk about the tornado outbreak in November, it's a very rare case to see so many tornadoes in the north.
Well, yes, usually at these times towards the end of November, the north is almost too cold, you could say, to get that severe weather going. But yesterday was a rare environment in which we say that those dew points, which is a good indicator of moisture, a lot of moisture and abnormal temperatures in the Midwest into the Great Lakes region help kick up those storms.
Yeah, it's not a rare case for us to see tornadoes in November. We actually call it the secondary tornado season in October and November. But we mainly see those tornado outbreaks into the deep south, into Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama. But it's very rare to see those storms up in the Midwest.
It was actually kind of funny. If you see historically around the map in Louisiana, where the tornado region is, just shift that all the way up northward, it was almost lie perfectly around the Illinois area, eastern portions especially.
Yes, it was a very deadly outbreak, but the storm has since shifted off into Canada, and its millibar is at 968, I believe, so it's a very strong system still moving through Canada. But we're going to send things back locally with Nicole.
Thank you, guys. Well, today we had quite a bit of rain throughout the day, making it pretty drizzly and dreary out. If you were out this morning, we actually had a lot of fog, and students on campus couldn't even see Doak Campbell Stadium, so it was pretty miserable this morning. But Alex and Tyler will talk a little bit more about the fog later on in the show. Today's almanac, we reached a high of 77 degrees with our low only at 69. All of that moisture in the air really kept those temperatures up, so we really didn't dip down as much as we're used to with that temperature roller coaster in Tallahassee. Currently, it's 73 degrees with that dew point sitting at 70. So that really takes into account why we're feeling so muggy, and it feels a lot more like a late summer day than a late fall day. Across the area, we are sitting with low 70s, 73 in Bainbridge. We also have 72 degrees in Thomasville at this time and 73 in Monticello. Our dew points, like I said, they're very close to our temperatures, so there is a lot of moisture in the air, and it is making things feel very sticky as we do have those clouds hanging around, making things a little bit dreary. Our futurecast shows that we do have that those showers are pushing down the coast. We will have a chance for some showers and drizzle along the coast later today, but tomorrow will be less humid. We'll have a nice chance for some cooler conditions into the area. It will be very nice, so make sure you carry on a little bit of a jacket tomorrow as that cold front is pushing down and those rain chances are pushing down the coast. And tomorrow it will be cooler as well, on Wednesday, and we will have a chance for that drizzle to come back into our area with a few spotty showers later on into Thursday. Our beach forecast for tomorrow, the coast, you might have a chance for some showers. Those winds will be coming out of the northeast at 15 to 20 knots, and the surf will be at 2 to 3 feet, so it will be kicking up just a little bit. Tonight, we'll be dipping down to 50 degrees. We'll still be muggy and cool, so if you head out, make sure you carry on the layers because it will still be a little bit stifling out there, and there will be a chance for some spotty showers, so make sure you hang on to that umbrella. Tomorrow, again, a beautiful day. Temperatures hitting all the way up to 70 degrees. We'll have clear skies and plenty of sunshine, so if you have plans, you'll be great for those. We'll finally be seeing a peak of sunshine for tomorrow. Our weather wear for the rest of the week, bring a light sweater for tomorrow. We'll have cooler conditions. Wednesday, make sure you carry on the slacks and sweater because we will be a little bit cool as those temperatures are going to be dipping down. And as that next front moves on through, we will need a jacket or umbrella because it will be overcast and we will have a chance for some rain. Our 7-day forecast, those temperatures are going to be very beautiful for the next couple of days with all that sunshine tomorrow, but those temperatures and the rain chances will be increasing into Wednesday and Thursday. Let's send things back over to Jason and Jack at the desk. I'm sorry, back to Tyler. I was getting ahead of myself. Sorry, Tyler.
It's okay. We can get back to the desk in just a moment, but let's widen out the view and talk about what's going on around the southeast. And we do have a cold front working through, but temperatures aren't really that big of a contrast with this front. It's not as strong as our last cold front, but it is a lot cooler. 60 degrees in Little Rock. Compared that to yesterday's record high of 84, and we even saw some record highs in Central Florida today. Melbourne and Vero Beach, high temperature 88 degrees. That's a record high temperature. But around our area of the southeast, you can see Mother Nature really picking on us the last day, or couple, 2-3 days actually, with lots of cloud cover and some shower activity as well. Got a pretty good dosing of rain today. But here's where the front is making a difference, and that's in the moisture content at the surface. Dew point, 70 degrees here in Tallahassee. Not much better in South Florida, but you just go up I-75 a little bit. Atlanta, 31 degrees is the dew point. So we definitely have some drier air working in, and the front is knocking on our doorstep. You can see the northerly winds just to our northwest, while they're still coming out of the south in Savannah, so the front is just to our west in the Florida Panhandle. But as we go through the overnight hours, the front will continue to make its way further to the south, and the rain will go with it over the next couple of days. It'll be less humid during the day on Tuesday, and we'll actually see that big yellow ball in the sky once again. The sunshine's making a comeback here across the southeast on your Tuesday. It's going to be pretty nice, and then we'll introduce some shower chances once again toward Wednesday and Thursday. So we'll get at least one decent day of some pretty good sunshine around here for the next couple of days. If you're taking the boat out tomorrow, it's going to be breezy with that cold front coming through. Northeasterly winds at 15 to 20 knots, waves 2 to 3 feet. Not the best day to go out on the boat, but if you're calling it, if you want to see what the temperatures are going to be like for tonight, 50 degrees around here. 41 in Montgomery, 38 in Tupelo. So again, not as potent as our last cold front. Temperatures will stay above freezing across most areas of the southeast. High temperatures tomorrow will be nice. 70 degrees here, 60 in Atlanta, 59 in Wilmington, but no such luck down here in Central and South Florida. The cold front not working its way through there quite yet. But let's go ahead and take a look at some more news stories with Jack and Jason.
Yeah, thanks, Tyler. Actually, those warm temperatures in Florida allowed NASA to have its liftoff of their orbiter mission of MAVEN going to Mars.
Yes, it did actually lift off around 1:28 p.m. today at Cape Canaveral, Florida. Good liftoff, obviously. No weather help impede at least a takeoff.
Yeah, some clear skies, and MAVEN is taking its 10-month trail to the red planet.
$617 million orbiter, but it will take its month to the trail, and it's going to explore the higher parts of the atmosphere of the red planet.
Yeah. Mars is really lacking in air in the atmosphere, and it's believed that it used to have a lot of gases in the area that would allow liquid to persist in the area, but now the pressure is so low, there's so much, not a lot of air in there, that if any liquid was there, it would instantly boil.
It's very interesting, especially since we've had experiences of at least some evidence, maybe some riverbeds in the Mars, maybe some liquid life, you could say, or organic life, excuse me, you could say in the atmosphere of Mars.
Yeah, exactly. And scientists will use this data and kind of take a scope of what Mars climate used to be. But we're going to send things back out to the wall with Alex as he takes us around the nation.
Alrighty now, guys, look at the map. What do you see? A lot of green, especially around the southeast. This little line, that diagonal line near Atlanta, New Orleans, is where the front is. And the green to orange shows the temperature gradient, or the change in temperature with distance. And that's where the front is, not so far away from our neck of the woods. And it's going to be moving closer towards us. The 24-hour temperature change illustrating that all the blue and purple, that's where the temperatures have been lower than average. And as you can see, Atlanta sitting 3 degrees lower than they've been 24 hours ago. And New Orleans also sitting around 11 degrees lower than average. So it's going to continue to creep in our area, and with fronts we always see the addition of rainfall, and that has been the story throughout the past couple of days. Not a lot of sunshine and a lot more clouds as they move on towards the Big Bend region, starting to impact Gainesville and Orlando around the middle of the state. And let's take a little closer look towards the northeast, where we have this massive storm system that was responsible for the severe weather we've been seeing around the Midwest, including yesterday. If you recall, the Chicago-Baltimore game that was delayed due to a lot of severe weather. In the north near Canada, a lot of snowfall. You can clearly see the spin, and a lot of the rain showers have since moved out of the contiguous U.S. and pushed out of the country. Down towards the southeast, near our area, you can see those rain showers and thunderstorms continue to push towards the east-northeast. We might see a sprinkle here or there throughout the night, but I think the biggest rain has since passed us, so we're going to be seeing mainly clear skies throughout the next coming hours. And towards the northwest, you can see our next weather maker beginning to move ashore, and this will be connected with another front that will continue to drop our temperatures down even further. That is the trend for this time of year. Fronts after fronts after fronts. Watches and warnings looking mainly clear across much of the U.S. Nothing in the way of anything severe. A flood watch around the Detroit area. But other than that, not much of anything for Florida, for New York. None of the big name cities are seeing any big name impacts, so that's always good to hear. However, the rainwater and the snow is still impacting Detroit, so you're looking at some major airport delays if you're heading out towards Detroit for Thanksgiving weekend. If you're going there a week early, make sure you have that in mind. Tonight's forecast looking at blues and greens, meaning a lot of cool temperatures for the south. A lot of cool temperatures for the country. However, for the south, we're still seeing warm temperatures persist in Miami at 72 degrees, Tallahassee. Back in the 50s we go once again. Tomorrow's forecast, 74 in San Antonio. The sun continues to once again show its face around the southeast, however, as that front continues to drift towards the south, giving Miami its next dose of rainfall. But now we're going to take it on to a local story with Brooke.
Thank you, Alex. Like Alex was saying, we do have a lot of rain. That's just from that cold front making its way on through. We can see some little scattered showers throughout the evening, but it's not going to be a lot of rainfall, and it's not going to be heavy rainfall either. Just a couple little sprinkles here and there, but a majority of that's just to the south of us here in Tallahassee, Florida. But today, because of that warm front we saw yesterday, we did see these temperatures get a little bit warmer, so today we only reached a high of 77 degrees. That's still fairly warm, but not really near our record. So temperatures can reach into the mid to higher 80s for this time of the year. But as of now, 73 degrees, we still have that fog lingering around. Humidity is really high, and so is that dew point. So that means it's just a lot of moisture in our atmosphere right now. You're really going to be feeling that when you step outside. Current temperatures, though, not really showing you effect of that cold front just yet. 73 degrees here in Tallahassee, 71 over in St. Mark. So just a lot of 70s across the board right now, but just in the lower 70s. And those temperatures by this evening will begin to drop just a little bit. But you can see again those temperatures down Miami dropping down from the high 70s into the lower 70s for their nighttime temperatures. Over in Georgia as well, we're seeing those 50s, and up north 30s. So a lot of these temperatures are seeing those November types of climates, but down south it's still a little bit warmer than usual. As for tonight, though, still going to be muggy and cool out there. Those showers are just going to linger around, like I said, and we do have a chance for showers later on in the week. We're just going to get to that in a little bit, but 50 degrees here for tonight's forecast. A little bit warmer, but still not too cold and uncomfortable if you have any of those evening plans for outside. Temperatures for tomorrow, though, climbing back on up to 70 degrees. We can see a couple of showers as well into tomorrow, but a lot more clear skies, so a huge difference from today into tomorrow. Definitely a lot of more sunshine as well, so you can get a break and get some color back into your life. And for the next 7 days, we do see a little chance of rain as we move into the mid of the week. A lot of those temperatures are dropping as effect of that cold front. Definitely on Wednesday, you can see effects of that. We're hitting the 40s, not like last Wednesday when we were super, super cold, but still just a little bit warmer. Tuesday, though, showing you that sunshine again, a lot of cloud coverage for your next couple of days. And by Saturday, another chance of rain for the last home game of the semester. But let's take things on over to the desk with Alex and Tyler.
Alrighty, thanks, Brooke. Now, it's November, so the tropical season usually starts to die down, but we did get another named storm yesterday.
Yes, it's not over until it's over, says Mother Nature. We still got 12 days of hurricane season left, and that officially ends November 30th, or climatologically, but we do have that subtropical storm, and that's Melissa.
Yes, Melissa now, subtropical storm with winds at around 60 miles an hour, so it's getting a little stronger. However, it's looking like it's kind of disorganized and far off in the northern Atlantic.
Now, Alex, some subtropical systems look different and are different than regular tropical systems. How are they different?
Well, they tend to have a mix of characteristics of what normal tropical storms do and what the big severe weather systems like the one that impacted the Midwest do. How they're very spread out, but they're not so focused in the inside like a hurricane is. So, but still.
Good news is not affecting really anyone but maybe the fish, and then it looks like it's heading toward Greenland, right?
Yes, towards Greenland, going to impact them. It might stay tropical. The storm looks like it's going to maintain its strength for the majority part of the weekend. However, I don't think it's going to be anything serious to worry about.
Well, that's certainly good news. Looks like we can just about close the books on this hurricane season, but we still got more weather to talk about, right, Troy?
Exactly, Tyler, and fortunately, after Melissa, hopefully won't be seeing any hurricanes anytime soon. But as we look across the great state of Florida, you can see clearly what that cold front is draped across the northern tier of the Sunshine State. Lots of showers associated with today, especially in our region. Of course, going out to campus today for your college students that were going to classes, it probably wasn't the best day. It was kind of dreary outside, a little bit, reminds me kind of like London weather with a lot of clouds outside. But hopefully, that didn't ruin your day, and that hopefully you're still motivated to go to your classes. But we're going to zoom in locally across the Tallahassee region just to give you a better idea of what's happening at the time being. You can clearly see that showers is associated with that front. Fortunately for the time being, it's diminishing over the next couple of hours. And so going towards the night, our clouds, that the cloud cover that you see right now will also begin to wane over the coming hours. And that's associated with the cold front that eventually will be passing on by over the next few hours. But as I show you with our water vapor imagery, just to give you an idea of what's going on with the upper levels of the atmosphere, where you see these green colors over the North Florida region, that means that we have lots of moisture content in the upper levels of the atmosphere, and that's been responsible for this, dreary, unsettled weather day, with sporadic showers. So, hopefully you had your umbrellas if you were going to campus or you're just taking a walk, but, fortunately, better times are ahead of us, and I'll show you that later on in just a second. But as far as what it means for the rest of the state, as far as your temperatures are concerned, really just mild across most of the state, with a little cooler out towards the I-10 corridor, 73 degrees in Tallahassee, 68 degrees being the coolest spot in Pensacola, but a lot of warmer temperatures down the further south you go, with 77 degrees in Fort Myers, and West Palm Beach sitting at 80 degrees. And so folks down there will continue to see these mild temperatures, but central northern Florida, things will begin to change pretty soon. But as we look at our dew points, remember, dew point is a good indicator as to how much moisture there is in the atmosphere. And we see dew points in the 60s and 70s. That just tells you that it's very uncomfortable side. Lots of tropical-like moisture to deal with in the great state of Florida. But that cold front will begin to help those dew points wane significantly over the coming days. And this easterly wind direction is also helping to bring in that moisture from the Gulf of Mexico. But what does this mean going towards your next couple of days? Well, as you look at our future cast, you see a little bit of rain, possibly over the next few hours, but it will begin to diminish as the cold front passes them by, and behind that cold front, cooler temperatures and lots of dry air will begin to work in through the region. And you can see that for tonight's forecast, you already see, the effects will be resulting of that cold front. 50 degrees for overnight temperature in Tallahassee, but still mildness towards the south, 72 degrees. In Miami, and tomorrow's forecast, refreshing temperatures will be on the horizon. 70 degrees in Tallahassee, but all that warmth will be confined to the south
83 degrees in Miami, but let's take it out to winter weather with Jason. Jason, ooh, just talk about that freezing temperatures.
I will do, Sir Troy. And let's go ahead and take a brief look again. Also, the people who were affected severe weather yesterday, we wanted thoughts and prayers are once again out to you and those who are helping out with the rescue survivors of those areas affected in this tornado outbreak in the Window Valley region. The reason why that outbreak did occur, though, was from this winter weather storm that, yes, did spin things up into the Gulf. And the Great Lakes region, seeing its much cooler temperatures is a good indication of where that cold front was, and now shifting up into the northwest, we do see some much cooler temperatures in the Great Lakes region. But mostly, looking throughout most of the map, I see more average seasonal temperatures for the United States. 24-hour temperature, though, looking where this cold front is currently situated, see right along Pensacola, Panhandle, Florida's now beginning just to see some of that cooler air, but those temperature changes were dropping. Memphis, Tennessee, 24 hours ago, they saw 16 degrees warmer, so now 62 degrees cooler than yesterday. 21-degree drop from Detroit, Michigan. They saw that much cooler air beginning to train on through going into today. Satellite radar, though, not showing very much around the country. Big dome of high pressure is keeping things very dry and cool for most of the eastern parts of the United States. We do have a few Great Lake snow effects into Michigan and a couple showers associated into Florida. Now, watches and warnings, though, our next winter storm is Pacific storm, now making its way into the region. Seattle and the northern extremes of the Rockies have some winter weather advisories. So they're expecting some snow there tonight, and that's, of course, where our next system could be making its way on through. But we see the storm yesterday, though, is beginning to spit up into the Canadian areas, and we see some still lake snow effects from Lake Michigan into the western extreme counties of Michigan, and also from up into Minnesota, we see Lake Superior giving some lake snow effect into the extreme northern counties of Michigan and into Minnesota. But overall, this next system is not looking too potent yet. We just now making its way on shore, so a lot of showers associated to Seattle. Seattle could be seeing 2 inches of rain in the next few days going through Tuesday. And the Cascades looking like they're going to be seeing 1 to 2 feet of snow through Tuesday into Wednesday. So I say a more ski-like resort could be in the forming of the Cascade Mountains from this next winter storm. But overall, not looking too bad for most of the region. Satellite radar, like I said, this cold front is still making some showers. We did see a few spotty showers back at home this morning in Tallahassee. We're heading out the door. We had those few spotty showers associated with the cold front, not making its way through yet. We did have some instability ahead of it, so we had hence some showers. Those showers will be making its way, though, into, I'd say, central portions of Florida, and southern portions of Florida could be seeing some rain showers for the next few days. But overall, country not looking too bad. Going to tonight's forecast, though, we see much cooler temperatures up north. 20s and 30s dominating most of the Great Lakes region into the upper Midwest. And into tomorrow, well, things begin to warm up, look a little more like fall seasonal-like temperatures. Most of the counties, once again, dominated by the low 60s to mid 70s. We're going to go ahead and take it back to the desk, at least with now Alex and Tyler.
All right, thanks so much, Jason. And still in the news from, what was it, a week ago? We had the typhoon site.
Typhoon
Help me
Island.
out.
Yes, about a week and a half ago, that's when the storm had made landfall, and the death toll continues to rise even today, nearing 4,000 people and about 2,000 still missing. So.
That's right. And we have a lot of weather events going on lately. It's hard to keep track of them all.
Yes, quite a lot indeed.
And according to the Philippine Atmospheric, ready for this, Geophysical and Astronomical Services Administration, I can do that, Haiyan ranks at number 7 all time for the strength of land at the time of landfall.
Yes, this topic was heavily discussed because it was widely regarded to be maybe the strongest ever. However, there were still a few more that had made landfall at a stronger intensity, namely Joan in 1970 with winds above 170 miles an hour, so quite potent.
I don't think we have any of those winds going through our studio, but let's see if Jack can talk about our local weather right now.
Okay, this thing's kind of misleading.
We're really not seeing much winds, just barely variable winds all across this Big Bend. Currently, variable winds 3 miles per hour out of the south in Monticello is going to help pull some moisture where we could see some rain later into tonight. Current conditions mainly in the lower 70s all across the region. We'll expect those temperatures to drop off about 10 degrees as we progress into the night. 73 currently in Tallahassee, 72 degrees in Valdosta, and 71 degrees in St. Mark's, and those temperatures will start cooling off. Currently at the airport, we got some fog in the area as the sun starts to set. 73 degrees. We're going to continue to see this fog. As we saw earlier today, you could barely see the top of the Capitol building. Satellite and radar showed all that rain that started making its way into our area earlier today, starting to push off into the Nature Coast of Florida. But for us in Tallahassee and the rest of the viewing area, staying relatively quiet. Mainly clouds is the big story. Will stay pretty humid and sticky throughout the rest of the week, though. So could bring us some problems. Futurecast shows this cold front as it continues to move through central parts of Florida will be less humid tonight. As we progress into the night, we could see a few sprinkles here and there, though, so keep that umbrella handy. Tuesday should be pretty nice for the rest of the day, though. Could see some showers start coming into the area as we progress into Tuesday night. Wednesday morning will stay cool, though. Partly cloudy skies throughout the night into Wednesday. And as we make our way into Thursday as well, those rain chances start increasing. We'll start having some spotty showers into Wednesday and Thursday, and our next approaching front will be coming through around Saturday. But what can we expect for tonight? Calling for only a low of 50 degrees, so we're going to start dropping off from those 70s that we saw earlier today. Muggy and cool out there. Spotty showers. We'll have those winds mainly out of the north at 5 to 10 miles per hour. We'll have some cloud coverage throughout the day, though, as we make our way into tomorrow's forecast, calling for a high of 70 degrees. Clearer skies will be in the area. Plenty of sunshine. Winds out in the northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. That 7-day forecast, though, shows that the cloud coverage will mainly stay in our area Wednesday through Saturday. Tuesday, we might get a little bit of a break on Tuesday from one of those rain chances, but our weekend might be seeing some rain on Saturday with that 30% chance of rain. But we're going to talk about some fog with Tyler and Alex.
Yes, I don't know if you were laid up last night. However, there was still a lot of fog, right? Quite a lot of fog indeed.
There was lots of fog, and the fog quickly thickened as the night progressed, and we had visibilities easily below a quarter of a mile in some areas, and even around campus.
Yes, I live near Call Street. I don't know if you know where that is according to the campus. Well, it's a big street right next to campus. However, I can't even see across the street near where the campus is just how thick, that's how thick that fog is. Yes. Trying to get the main story apart. However, we do have some pictures to show with the fog.
Yeah, you can see that from Reagan's Hall, and normally, well, you can see Wildwood, but normally you can see Doe Campbell. I don't see that anywhere around there, and that was this morning. Thanks to our very own Shane Pendleton for taking that picture.
Yes, thank you very much, Shane. That was a really nice picture. We do have other pictures as well. However, I don't know if we're able to get those up. However, the story still stays the same. Fog was the main story, and that's what happens when you have a lot of moisture in the lower levels and it can't rise up like it's supposed to.
That's right. All that mist and drizzle gave us a very saturated air mass. But hey, look, the sunshine. It comes back as we go into Tuesday, but guess what, Alex? Some clouds Wednesday and Thursday, maybe a shower or two once again.
Yes, indeed. You can see those temperatures begin to drop and then rise right back up to seasonal conditions. However, it looks like it's going to stay nice and comfortable. Like always, you can also like us or follow us on Twitter or Facebook as well.
And watch us anytime on livestream.com/FSU Weather. So that's all for this busy Monday edition of the show. I'm student meteorologist Tyler Allender.
And I'm student meteorologist Alex Cordero. Have a great week.